I was born in 1974 in Finland, and I didn't grow up having a lot of money. We were not maybe the most piss poorest people there were in Finland, but we were close. So I've been poor a big portion of my life, and today I realized I'm gonna have to survive Christmas on some, pickled herrings and knäckebröd, which is like a hard sort of bread, because this like this kind of hard bread, because there are so few bank days during Christmas, I can't get any money from my businesses, so I'm gonna starve probably. And then I saw this this very interesting video from the 1980s and 1990s where people were going to McDonald's, a hamburger restaurant, and everybody was so nostalgic and I grew up during these times. I was a kid and a young person during these times, and when I grew up, people were so nostalgic. Oh, those were the days you could get, like Americans, they remember going to fast food restaurants during the 80s. I grew up in Finland. We didn't have like a fucking fast food restaurant even in my town. There were no hamburger joints, there were no pizza joints that I can remember. Nothing. The only one thing that was like closely related to fast food was called plussa, like a plus. It was like a chain. It was like a place you could go when you had money. When my parents had money and felt lazy, we went there. You could get a Wiener Schnitzel and mashed potatoes. Yeah, you could get like a Wiener Schnitzel with mashed potatoes or French fries. The mashed potatoes were not made from real potatoes, and I love these, powder and water kind of mashed potatoes with ketchup on it. That was my fast food in the 80s. That didn't happen very often. And what I grew up with is what you in America, in USA, would probably consider old school, old world food. Mostly subsidized by the government in the schools, but it was like pancakes made of pig's blood. I'm not kidding you. You eat them with lingonberry jam. Also, casserole made of liver, with raisins in them, which was disgusting. There were no salads. The only salads we really had were sort of cucumbers, pickled or not, and maybe a little bit a slice of tomato sometimes. And of course I hated that. So I never had any fast food growing up. I probably, if I ask you Americans, I probably grew up in the 1800s or something. If you consider the kind of food I grew up on. In the 90s, when I was a poor student, there was fast food, and I moved to a larger city. There were fast food joints, there were hamburger joints, but I was still poor. And I ate mostly at the university had these canteens with government. I ate mostly at the university where they had these government-funded canteens where you could have like a meal for nothing. So yeah, that is how I survived the 90s mostly. I ate at the university where and the money I had, because it was easier to I usually had a job during those times even, so it was easier to get money. I used my own money for beer, going out, and sometimes for hamburgers. but not very often still. It was when I was absolutely starving. And the only time I really had a fast food was when I had small children, because it's hard. You weren't really allowed to any restaurants or anything, and it was really hard to have two small children with you. You had to breastfeed. You had like a stroller with you and diapers and you know what the fuck. And people like turn their noses up if you turn up at a restaurant with children screaming. So McDonald's and the hamburger joints were the only place you could go, you know. And so that was the kind of only period in my life that I actually semi-regularly went to these hamburger joints. So yeah, I kind of feel nowadays I live in a city center. They had a McDonald's until a year ago. Now they don't. They closed down, and now they have these luxury burger joints that I can't afford. So I never go out and eat burgers anymore. And so it kind of feels I'm 50 years old and I still kind of omitted all of this fast food craze that was going on during the 80s, 90s, and up until today, you know. I never really experienced it, except for a very short time when I had kids, like a year or two. Interesting. But, you know, so this body was built by pancakes made of pig's blood. So, yeah, that's right. And happy Christmas. I'm gonna have a hard time eating. So, we're gonna just continue down with and some fish on. Maybe put some fish on it.